How long is the altitude to the hypotenuse of a 6, 8, 10 right triangle? Now this is a little more complicated than many of our problems of the day. We tend to do this at least once a week to stretch it for some of you minds out there who really want to stretch. How long is the altitude to the hypotenuse of a 6, 8, 10 right triangle? The 6, 8, 10 represent the lengths. So let's take a look and see how this is going to fly, okay? Lucas, we've got a right triangle here, and it definitely works because we got a 6, 8, 10, right?
Right.
And that means if we take 6 squared, which is how much? You got those down, right?
Right.
And 8 squared and 10 squared, we're going to be able to say 6 squared plus 8 squared equals 10 squared. What's that called? Pythagorean theorem. You got it. Now, what we want to do, and he told me, he says, we're going to make a right angle right up here, okay? So we're looking at this altitude. What is its length? And this one is based on, I like to base it on geometric means, because in many cases the way the geometric means work was how the Pythagorean theorem, which we just mentioned here, was proven, all right? So let's take a little geometric mean action. I'm going to break this thing up into x and 10 minus x. You say, Ernie, why are you doing that, all right? Well, because I need to know what these are in order to get to, we'll call it y there in the middle, all right? So we're going to go through x first, find it out, see what it is. And you say, Ernie, where'd you get 10 minus x? Well, Lucas, where did we get it? If we put an x there, what's the story here?
Well, since the whole side right here is 10, you'd just be subtracting that x right here since that's the rest of the side.
Exactly. Very good. So what we've got here, I've got an x identity for this little segment. I've got 10 minus x working down here, all right? So, and I just blew it out of there. See, that's why I need you around. Thank you. I help you, all right? Now, let's work through this thing. There's a little proportion that basically relates each of these altitudes. There are 3 of them, by the way, the 6, the y, and the 8. And the way they work, it's off similar triangles. We would take a long time if we were to explain this, so I want to go straight to the source here. We're going to say 6 is equal to, it's a geometric mean. Now, geometric mean is when we take 2 numbers, we multiply them, and we take the square root. That's what a geometric mean is, simply. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this 6 to equal this little number right across. We go right across. Well, what's across there, Lucas? I've got an x, don't I? I didn't put a number in there yet, did I? We got to find out what that x is. And we're going to say it times the whole hypotenuse, times 10. And that comes from basically working with similar triangles and proportions. Again, we're not going to go through all that time today, but we've got that going in our direction here. But what we want to do, we want to square both sides here. We want to square both sides. And we're going to say, what's 6 squared, by the way?
36 equals x times 10.
And because what's going to happen is we're going to square the 6, which we just did, and we're also going to square this radical out, right? And you just told me the radical does what? It disappears. And we're left with, once again?
X times 10.
Okay. Not like 10x. We're going to put that 10x there. Just put that in front of it. And now, Lucas, divide with 10. What are we going to have here? If we divide 10 into 36.
3.6.
3.6. Man, who needs a calculator when you got Lucas, all right? That's great. That's great. But that's what's important is we know now that that is 3.6. So our x is 3.6. That's important. And our 10 minus x, what's going to be if we subtract 10 minus 3.6? I believe we get what, Lucas?
10 minus 3.6 equals 6.4.
6.4. Awesome. And now, this y value is also, I said, a geometric mean. We're going to go right up the middle. We're going to pick up left side, right side here, which is now 3.6. And we're going to take its square root. 3.6 times 6, or 4. I'll get it out there. What it is, 6.4, right?
Right.
And what we're going to do is find something that hopefully is right in the middle. I'm not going to make you do these ones, okay? We're going to go to the calculator on this one. Let's go 3.6 times 6.4. I somehow think Lucas would probably figure this one out, all right? Probably can go there. And I get I'm getting 23 4/100, all right? So y equals the square root of 23 4/100. And we're going to figure out what is that length. And the square root of that, let's go back to calculator for that one. Take a second, square root, and I've got 23 4/100. Lucas, I'm excited. We're going to get a number that's going to come out even. It's got to. It's got to. We did it right, didn't we?
Right.
4.8, 4 8/10.
It's amazing how numbers work out like that sometimes.
I think it is too. And right, because this is actually a 3-4-5 triple. This is actually a version of the 3-4-5, 36, 48, and then we would have had 60 in that right triangle there. So that's why it works out. And there we go. We have 4.8.
For more math help, visit TNLearn.org.